The obsidian spires of Noctira rose like fangs against a violet sky, each tower carved from black crystal that drank the light around it. At the heart of the city lay the Court of Eternal Dusk, where the vampire queen, Seralith the Undying, ruled over 1,000 conquered worlds. Her people were ancient, brilliant, and merciless. They fed not only on blood, but on fear, obedience, and the slow despair of species who learned too late that resistance was futile. On this cycle, the court gathered for a singular curiosity: a human envoy. Humans were new to the galactic stage. Fragile, short-lived, loud. They had no psychic gifts, no natural fangs, no regenerative immortality. When Seralith's fleets first encountered human colonies along the Perseus fringe, the queen expected an easy harvest. Instead, the humans burned their own outposts, evacuated millions under fire, and fought with a desperation that baffled her admirals. Now, one human stood alone in the center of the court. He was unarmored, wearing a simple dark uniform with no insignia. His name, according to the translators, was Elias Rowan. He did not kneel. A murmur rippled through the vampire nobility. To stand before the queen without bowing was an insult punishable by immediate execution. Seralith reclined upon her throne of living stone, crimson eyes gleaming with amusement. Her voice echoed like silk dragged over steel. "Human," she said, "you stand before me accused of defiance. Your species refuses vassalage. Your fleets disrupt my harvest lanes. Your worlds poison themselves rather than feed us. For this, I should have you drained and displayed." She leaned forward, shadows curling around her like loyal beasts. "Speak quickly. Entertain me. Or die." The court fell silent. Elias felt the pressure then, the psychic weight that crushed wills and bent spines. He tasted copper in his mouth as blood vessels strained behind his eyes. This was the presence that broke kings and reduced warlords to sobbing thralls. He took a slow breath. "Your Majesty," Elias said calmly, "we already know how this ends." Laughter erupted among the nobles. "Sound like cracking ice." Seralith smiled, revealing perfect ancient fangs. "Do you? Then enlighten me." Elias met her gaze. "You kill me. You attack humanity in force. And eventually you lose." The laughter died. Seralith rose from her throne. The temperature in the chamber dropped. "You dare predict my defeat?" "Yes," Elias replied. "Because we've studied you." The queen descended the steps, each movement graceful and predatory. "We have fed on stars older than your species. We have ended civilizations that span galaxies. What could you possibly know of us?" Elias reached into his coat slowly. The guards hissed, weapons rising, but Seralith raised a hand. He withdrew not a weapon but a small data prism. With a flick of his thumb, a hologram bloomed between them. Showed a vampire. Not a noble. Not a queen. Corpse. Its flesh was gray, desiccated, its eyes sunken. Scientific readouts scrolled alongside the image. "This," Elias said, "is subject V-112. Captured during your raid on Halcyon Station." The court stirred uneasily. Seralith's eyes narrowed. "Impossible. No one captures my children." "You don't notice when you're busy feeding," Elias said. "We ran tests. Extensively." The hologram shifted. Molecular diagrams, energy signatures, radiation graphs. "You're not immortal," Elias continued. "You're sustained. Your regeneration depends on a self-repairing bioenergetic lattice. Elegant, powerful, and fragile." Seralith's voice dropped to a whisper. "What did you do to it?" "We stressed it," Elias said. "Starved it. overfed it, bombarded it with controlled radiation. And eventually we found the threshold. The image changed again. The vampire lattice collapsed, unraveling like burned silk. You can't die of age, Elias said. But you can die of saturation. Silence crushed the court. Serelith stared at the hologram, fury and something else flickering in her eyes. Explain, she demanded. Your species feeds to maintain equilibrium, Elias said. Too little energy, you decay. Too much, the lattice destabilizes. You've balanced this for millennia by controlling populations. By harvesting just enough. He looked around the court. But humans don't fight wars that way. Serelith felt it then, a cold realization. Elias continued. If you invade us fully, we won't resist like others. We won't hide. We'll offer ourselves. Entire worlds. Billions of humans flooding your feeding networks. You'll gorge. Your nobles will gorge. He paused. And you'll overdose. A collective hiss swept the chamber. Some vampires recoiled instinctively, as if the word itself burned. Serelith's hands clenched. You would sacrifice your own species. Elias shook his head. No, we'd evacuate first. We're very good at that now. He stepped closer to the queen, ignoring the guards. You've built an empire that depends on restraint, he said softly. Humans don't do restraint when cornered. We do spite. We do mutual destruction. And we do it faster than anyone expects. Serelith searched his mind, probing for deception. He found none. Only grim certainty. What do you want? She asked at last. Peace, Elias said. Non-aggression. No feeding on human worlds. No covert harvesting. In return, we'll share our research. Research. Serelith spat. On controlled synthesis, Elias replied. Artificial sustenance. Energy sources that don't involve living prey. We're close. Not perfect yet. But close enough to change everything. The court erupted in chaos. Nobles shouted, argued, recoiled at the heresy. Serelith raised her voice, silencing them instantly. You threaten my empire with extinction, she said. And call it a negotiation. Elias met her gaze without flinching. I call it honesty. Long moments passed. The queen looked out over her court, her ancient mind calculating futures branching like veins of blood through history. War meant risk she had never truly faced. Peace meant change. A surrender of fear as a weapon. Finally she laughed. Not mockery. Something raw. Humans, Serelith said, are the first species to ever threaten me with their own survival. She returned to her throne. Very well, Elias Rowan. I accept your terms. The court gasped. But know this, the queen added, eyes blazing. If your kind deceives me, I will not stop at your stars. Elias inclined his head at last. Fair. As he was escorted from the court of eternal dusk, whispers followed him like shadows. That day the vampire empire did not fall. But for the first time in its immortal existence, it learned fear. Not of death, but of humans who were willing to weaponize their own defiance and survive long enough to make it count.